splitting hairs, splitting some hairs. We're splitting those hairs because we split the hairs. That's our new theme song.
Can you believe you pre-recorded that for this?
That was
done in the studio.
I just have a button on my thing that I just press and that happens.
Yeah.
Do you want me to press it again?
Yeah, do it again.
Oh, no, I can't.
Let me press it, okay?
No, I can't. I broke the button.
Ah.
Sorry. No, we'll have to redo it again. I'll fix it later. Don't worry about it. That was our new theme song. Welcome back to Sure It'll Be Grand.
That's what we took the month off for.
That's what we did
to work
with our
on
time
that,
off. Yeah, I made that. It's great, isn't it? Recorded that in a proper studio and there's auto-tune. Anyway.
It cost us 20 grand.
Episode 2 of Splitting Hairs. It's back. The show that everybody loves. So last time out we did this, we thought maybe, let's give it a go. And we did Armageddon versus Deep Impact, and people liked it.
They surely did.
That's nice. So we're back. They're now a semi-regular thing that we're going to do a lot more of. And this time around, I mean, there was only one option really to do for the next one because a bunch of people suggested it. Every time you look up movies that are sort of the same,
research,
anytime you Google movies that are kind of similar that came out around the same time, which is the premise of Splitting Hairs.
Yeah,
these two come up. So the movies this time on Splitting Hairs, episode 2.02. Splitting Hairs is in my corner, White House Down, and in Dan's corner,
Olympus Has Fallen.
Oh, he got the name right. Damn.
I know, I did because I wrote it down at the top of my list because I love the movie so much.
Yes, well, not as much as I love my movie. So White House Down versus Olympus Has Fallen. We have divided the movies up into arbitrary categories that we think is most easy to compare them on, which we will go through. I will argue in favor of my perfect movie, and Dan will argue in favor of his garbage one. I think is how it normally works, right? I mean, should we just do it? Should we just start this thing?
To it. I mean, it's not going to get any worse. I mean, better.
We're not getting any younger. White House Down. Let me start. I'll start, okay? I'll go first.
Okay.
So White House Down. We're going to start and we're just going to tell you a little bit about the movies like we normally do, like who's in them and all that jargon. White House Down is a 2013 American action movie film. I stress action because it's action-packed. Directed by, who would you think would direct an action-packed movie? No, it's not Michael. Bay. No, it's not Michael Bay. It's Michael Bay Light. It's Roland Emmerich, everybody. He's back. We like him. What's he done before?
He's a mixed bag of a director. He does some great stuff.
He's done some movies, right? He's a director. Yeah. What has he done? Well, he's been
paid to direct things, yes.
Well, what has he directed? I hear you all scream in unison. Well, he's done Universal Soldier in 1992, which is a movie. Yeah, that's a film. He did the Stargate movie.
Oh! Coincidentally, we were just talking about that.
In 1994, he both wrote and directed it. And this, so Stargate was like his... I'm getting ready. I'm about to blossom into the director we all know and love. So then 1996 came along and he did Independence Day.
Fantastic.
Some
people say a bit silly.
Some people are idiots. And then, 2 years later, 1998, what could he possibly do to top Independence Day? Well, he did Godzilla.
Didn't really top it.
AKA Zilla.
Yeah.
He did that one. The one with that, that weird one. And then he did a Mel Gibson vehicle called The Patriot in the year 2000.
Yes. Braveheart in America.
If Braveheart was a colonial civil war. Then after that, he did... Actually, a movie I actually genuinely quite like because it's big and dumb and stupid and it's about the end of the world. He did The Day After Tomorrow, which he wrote, produced, and directed.
I actually like it as well. Actually, yeah.
Not actually not a bad movie. Actually, not a bad movie. That was 2004. So there's a run of 4 movies that people know. Huh? Yeah. That's about as far as I'll go with that. And after that, then he did 10,000 BC. Then he did 2012. The weird. Remember when everyone was obsessed with the Mayan calendar ending and stuff? That was odd. He did that one.
God, I wish they were right.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? And then he did Anonymous, and then he did this, his piece de la résistance, White House Down, the incredible movie that I'm here to talk about today, which is, as both movies are, we should stress. I suppose that's why they're up against each other. They're both about like the White House being attacked and some guy has to save the president, etc. So on, so forth. My movie's cast. What a cast! I mean, talk about a hot cast. That's what I'm going to say. It's
They had a cast.
It's hot, and they're hot people, and they're in a movie. And really, at the end of the day,
small faces on their heads.
Really, at the end of the day, that's all you really need is some hot people in a movie wearing tank tops. Which one of
them? To be fair,
does.
that's a good 20% like bonus for you. Any movie you watch normally, isn't it?
I'm genuinely.
If people are attractive, it's like you know, I'm not saying this in a jokey way. It's generally a thing. You like, I find these people attractive. Boost.
Hollywood marketing works. That's what all I'm saying.
For you, yes.
Anyway, who's in this? Channing Tatum, everybody. We know him. We like him. Remember that time he was supposed to play Gambit?
For about 20 years?
Yeah, he turned up at Comic-Con one time and he helped old man Stan Lee down the stairs and everybody went, oh, isn't Channing Tatum nice? He's in this.
Just when Stan Lee going, you'll never become him. Never. Just walks on.
You'll never be Gambit. Channing Tatum is in this. He's the lead. He plays John Cale, we will get to later. Also in this, Jamie Foxx plays the president something or other. Jamie Foxx is the president in this, which is really a wild casting decision, but we'll talk about that more later. Maggie Gyllenhaal is in this. Sister of Jake. We like Jake.
We like Jake.
We like Maggie. Maggie's cool. Also, Joey King, who most recently people should know is the star of the blockbuster Netflix rom-com franchise, The Kissing Booth.
I like them out of touch sometimes when they say stuff like that. You know, I'm just like, I'm glad that I don't know what that is.
There's 3 of them. There's 3 movies, The Kissing Booth 1, 2, and I think maybe 3 hasn't come out yet, but there's going to be a 3rd one. It's 1, 2, and 3, and it's about, what do you think it's about? It's about a kissing booth and a girl doing stuff with her best friend's older brother in a movie. Okay. And she's Joey King. She's a good actress, to be fair to her. She's a lot younger than this, obviously. This came out in 2013. Also in this, Jason Clarke, Richard Jenkins, and James Woods. This movie, White House Down, was released on June 28th. June.
Woods isn't this?
Yeah, we'll get to him.
Sorry.
James Woods, yes. White House Down was released June 28th, 2013 by Sony Pictures. And it had a big old budget of $150 million.
It's actually a big budget, yeah.
That's a pretty big budget. Yeah, and you can tell, I think.
Okay.
Maybe, sort of. There's a lot of explosions and stuff in my one.
They are.
I get, it's so... I should say, actually, just one final bit. This was written and produced by James Vanderbilt, whose filmography is wild, to be quite honest. As a writer, things he has written... do you remember The Rundown?
Oh.
No?
What's that about?
Do you remember Welcome to the Jungle?
Yes.
Same movie.
Oh.
For some reason, the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Sean William Scott weird action movie was called Welcome to the Jungle over here, and in America and other places it was called The Rundown for some reason. He wrote that, right? Then he wrote Zodiac.
Are you sure they were just not some very, very similar movies?
No, they're the exact same movie.
Imagine.
Yeah. Imagine they're just The Rock.
The Rock gets hired twice. He doesn't cop it. He's like, whoa.
If they are, then that's what we're doing for the next episode of Splitting Hairs, Dan. No, that's The Rundown. Then he wrote Zodiac, which, the David Fincher movie about the Zodiac killer with Jake Gyllenhaal, which is a really good movie and not at all like Welcome to the Jungle. He also has written The Amazing Spider-Man, the first Andrew Garfield one. Yep. Then he wrote Independence Day Resurgence. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. So, there you go. And he is currently writing both the next Transformers movie and the next Scream movie, which are both coming out next year.
Oh, I'm very excited for that.
Yeah. But isn't that a crazy variation of movies? Anyway, that's James Vanderbilt. He wrote my movie and he's great. Dan, tell us about your movie.
Olympus Has Fallen, you mean?
Damn it! I thought you'd get it wrong.
I know, I can see it in your lips. No, yeah. So I chose to defend in this court of entertainment. Olympus Has Fallen. It came out in 2013, and I'll get the exact date for you, which was March 22nd. So that was about a month in between.
3 months.
3 months in between. I don't know what dates are. Cool. Directed by Antoine Fuqua. I don't know how to pronounce that properly. He directed the Modern
Can we say that? Can we use those words?
We literally said fuck before.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Okay.
So he has directed the Modern Magnificent Seven, The Equalizer, Southpaw, and Brooklyn's Finest. Equalizer is always a great movie.
I haven't seen The Equalizer. That's Denzel Washington, right? Where he shoots people. I like Denzel. Southpaw's good. Southpaw's a good movie.
Yeah. I haven't heard much of the Magnificent Seven. I'm not much of a cowboy movie fan.
Just watch the original.
Okay. I probably still won't, but
yeah,
cool.
I mean it's a good western. The original is a good western.
Yeah. Writers. Here come some very strange names. Creighton Rothenberger, along with Katrin Benedict, both have worked together and written the two sequels movie, which are Angel Has Fallen and London Has Fallen, and as well as The Expendables 3.
Oh,
there you go. There's a duo. I tried to see if they're married or something, but no, they're just write movies together. And the same, they have both written like 5 movies, and they're working on the next 2 movies together as well. Oddly, it's just a duo. Yeah, it happens sometimes.
Like Lord and Miller. Sometimes people just work together.
Yeah,
like me and you. Some might say.
Perhaps. It's about 70-30% there, and I'll let you decide at home who's the 70 and who's the 30. Anyway, Gerard Butler,
Jerry.
One of our favourite Scottish actors out there.
Jerry, we call him.
You can call him Jerry if you like. He plays an ex-security, president look after person called
Secret Service agent, I think.
Whatever. Mike Banning, right? But we know Jerry from movies like 300, The Phantom of the Opera, Law Abiding Citizen, and The Bounty Hunter. He's been in quite a few movies, and he always plays a fairly good, rough, speaks out of the corner of his mouth kind of guy, right? And then we have Aaron Eckhart, who is President Benjamin Asher. He's been in The Dark Knight, Two-Face, if you remember. Thank You for Smoking, which is a brilliant movie. Love that movie. And Rabbit Hole. We have Dylan McDermott, who plays Forbes, which Owen wasn't aware was a name until we watched the movie.
Listen, I mean, it's not like it doesn't make sense. I just never thought about it before, I guess.
Yeah,
that Forbes
it's just the magazine in your head.
I just never thought that Forbes came from a family name or something.
Yeah. He was in The Perks of Being a Wallflower, The Practice, and In the Line of Fire. Rick Hume, who plays the villain of our piece, Kang.
Kang?
Kang?
Kang is this a variant?
Okay.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
Topical.
Topical. Do you want to now give out about Loki for 10 minutes?
No, I don't want to waste my breath.
Oh, harsh words. Anyway, he was in the Fast and Furious, Die Another Day, and a movie called Ninja Assassin. I mean, look, next actor, there's Morgan Freeman, who plays Speaker Drumble. I'm not going to tell you movies Morgan Freeman has been into.
Who?
All who? Oh, he's an up-and-coming actor,
Young guy, is he?
Yeah. Driving with Daisy, a small indie studio thing,
Oh, yeah, it's like an A24 production, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Angela Bassett's Secret Service director, Lynn Jacobs. And she was in Strange Days, Black Panther, and one of my favorite sci-fi movie, Contact.
We like her.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah, she's very likable. But yes, so the movie on a slightly less budget than yours at 70 million.
Yeah, slightly less.
Yeah, made gross about 98 million, and worldwide made about 170 million, which is bad on an investment of 70 million.
Yeah. Yeah,
They just about got even.
It's all right, you know.
Just about even, you know. Anyway, and yeah, that's it.
So those are the movies, everybody. White House Down versus Olympus Has Fallen.
I just want you to say Black Hawk Down.
Imagine I was the one that got it wrong after all this. So Kevin Smith. No, I'm kidding. So, okay, first up then, the first category we have decided to argue over. I don't know. They're just
which we definitely thought was a category last time, but apparently wasn't.
No, well, no, this one was.
Was it?
Yeah, the other one wasn't.
Oh, hero. Sorry, I got myself.
So yes, yes. The first category is. Let's talk about the heroes.
No sale for you, you little fist.
I'm gonna stick my knife through your brain.
He's gonna stick his knife through your brain, Dan. That was your hero, Mike Banning. Would
Yeah.
you like to?
That's heroes talk. That's when you think of a hero.
Would you like to talk about Mike Banning for a while?
Mike Banning, yes, Mike Banning. So the Secret Service security man for the president, very close to the family. You know, when I say close, literally one of the first shots is him sparring, boxing wise, with the president in his own private, like, boxing ring. Secret Service definitely in this, like, at Camp David seemed like their extended family. And, you know, he ruffles with the kid, and, you know, the mother is all friendly. You know, everyone seems to get along, and they're going off to some, you know, billionaire's dinner to raise some funds and that kind of thing. When the kid's kind of asking for it, they decide to change the seating around a little bit for the three cars, which then sadly ends up in a tragic accident. So they're on their way, and suddenly it's snowing, it's dark, and a deer comes out of nowhere, crashes into a car, and the front car goes right into the river, and the second car that has the president and his wife crashes and is kind of tipping at the edge. We all know the scene. There's a car at the edge of the bridge, and it's about to fall over, and all this security people, Secret Service people run over and trying to get him out, right? And this is where the tragedy of Mike Banning begins, because the door to the president's wife is wedged closed. It can't be opened. So he makes the split decision saying, I'm going to take you out of here, Mr. President. And he cuts the seatbelt out while the president's saying, no, save my wife. But he's not hearing him. Because, look, he's a Secret Service member. He has to look after this. It's the president who has to be looked after, not the wife. You know, that there's sadly a degree of who's more important than the other. And, the president gets saved, and immediately, literally, this president gets pulled out of the car as it's falling. And that's the tragedy of it. We skip ahead 2 years. He doesn't work anymore with the president. The Secret Service director, Lynn Jacobs, basically tells him that, look, I know the president doesn't blame you for what happened. He just can't see because he remembers all the crappy things. And this is kind of where we get with Gerard Butler's character. He's working in an office. Sorry about that. I'm going to move this out of the way. Yeah. Then an attack happens at the White House, and the first thing Gerard Butler does is run to the White House, run near to the White House, near the Pentagon, and find out what the hell has happened. He's helping the citizens. He's talking to the remaining government that is not the president and the vice president, and to see what they can do. And he basically is on a one-man mission into the White House to save the president and redeem himself. And that's Gerard Butler, our hero.
That's old Jerry Butler in your
good old Mikey boy.
Now compare that, if you will, as we must, as is the premise of this show, to my hero.
That we're cursed with.
Mr. Channing Tatum. Channing Frederick Tatum. I think that's his middle name. I don't really know or care. Channing Tatum. I don't know. Channing Tatum, you might wonder, does not just play Channing Tatum in this. He plays a man named John, which continues the Channing Tatum playing soldier types named John cinematic universe, which comes along also with Dear John. I think he's John in that, right? Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just because the letters are called Dear John letters. Anyway, he plays John Cale, who is an Afghanistan war veteran and Capitol Police officer who dreams. This man has a dream, Dan. John Cale has a dream, much like... No, I'm not going to use that comparison. John Cale has a dream.
Oh, don't! Jeez, that caught up with me. Don't do that.
He wants... You know what he wants to do? He wants to save the goddamn president, Dan. And my fucking God, that's what he's gonna do. John Cale wants to be...
No matter what's in the way.
No, he doesn't give a shit.
No matter what, be it, doing bad in college, his daughter, whatever.
Yeah, look, all right, he's a flawed hero, but he's a hero nonetheless. He wants to be a Secret Service agent. That's apparently his dream. I don't know why. He likes saving people, that's why. He wants to be that, and he has a job interview, and he takes his little girl, Joey King, Emily Cale, to the White House for an interview when suddenly incels attack. And the White House is torn apart. He's separated from his daughter. He must decide, do I save the president and the world, or save my daughter? And you know what John Cale does in that instance? By God, Dan, he saves them both somehow. Because he's a man of action. He's a man of few words, except sometimes he might be a psychopath. But we'll put that down to the PTSD from the Afghanistan war, okay? He's not really a loose cannon. Is he a loose cannon? I don't know, but he's, he doesn't say much.
He ran to the White House.
He shoots things, and he shoots multiple people, and he beats them to death sometimes, and he punches a lot of people, and he doesn't take no for an answer, is what he does.
Yeah, but how many headshots does he do? Jesus, I had a stroke just then.
He's not in Hot Shots Part 2. Thank you very much, Dan.
Headshots does he do? I'm just telling you, because I think you'll find that one of our movies does more headshots.
Which movie is it, Dan?
Oh, are you testing me again? Olympus Has Fallen.
I'll get you one of these terms. I'll get you. You're gonna say Black Hawk Down. I know.
I like we do like someone that's completely unrelated in a few months, and I say Black Hawk Down.
Yeah, probably. I hope so. Yeah, remember that time we did Black Hawk Down on the podcast? Oh God! Look, listen. All right. Here's the difference I think between our two heroes. All right.
Yes.
My guy has a goal at the start of this movie, and he achieves it. Your guy...
What's his goal?
He wants to save the president.
He wants a job.
His
president.
Literal goal, before there's even an issue, before the White House even explodes, is to save the president. Your guy had that job, and he was really bad at it.
He wasn't really bad at it. It's a horrible moment. And by the way, his job is to save the president. Who did he save?
He disobeyed a direct order.
Literally, no, that's not how security works. Not how that works. I'm afraid.
That's how
the president is not in charge of that.
Well, that's how it is in my movie.
Yeah, but your movie takes about 10 fucking hours to decide who's in charge and what can you do.
Because you can't do anything. America can't function without the president. There's no troops in the whole entire world. None of the Secret Service, none of the military, none of the FBI, none of them can. They all just sit around twiddling their thumbs until the president directly tells them what to do.
Yeah, he has to say, no, look, I abdicate in president. Oh, thank God, we can do stuff now.
Yeah,
that's what he has to do.
that is the legal. That is, I think that was an amendment to the Constitution. I think it was in the Constitution, actually.
I think it's the Constitution.
I think that's the whole Constitution. That's it.
As far as I know, it might as well be.
Do what the president tells you and do nothing else. That's the American Constitution, I think.
Yeah.
Though, look, those are our heroes. Is there much more to Mike Banning?
I don't know. Because here's what I'll say is, like, I'm not saying Mike Banning is like ancient, but he's very much coming back near to the end of his career compared to Channing Tatum's character, John. Like, they're bookends of a career, because Mike Banning could actually get the job in the normal way. Whereas John, not so much. John needed like the most convoluted way of getting this job.
When you think about it, my movie was really just an overly complicated job interview.
It was really what? Oh, wouldn't that be amazing? Like he's just finished it, and then suddenly like the villain comes up. Like, good job! All right, everyone, get up.
Yeah,
great. That was a test. You did great. Wonderful.
Yeah. You know what, John? Yeah, you can have the job. I think you did all right there.
No. I mean, like literally the whole thing was staged. Just like no, yeah, well done.
I have some notes. Earlier, you kind of dithered over whether you wanted to save your daughter or the president. In the future,
never save the daughter.
It's always the president, okay? Just for the future.
Look at her, bless her. She's waving the flag. But anyway, yeah, if she dies, she dies. Okay.
She dies. Fuck her. Yeah, I mean, those are the heroes. They're honestly, look, neither of them are that complicated. I think as dudes.
I think they are. I think my character's a little bit more complicated. Like, John just really wants to, like, I want to look after the president. There's no reason given. It's just like, this is a good enough job. And then some person knows him from college goes, yeah, but you're not really that reliable, John. You really aren't. Whereas Banning is, like, let's, joking aside, like, it was a tragedy what happened, but he chose to save the president, the most important thing at the time. And that's it. And it's the thing he has regrets and he feels bad of what happened. I think shows a bit of depth rather than, hey, I want to go to work at the White House.
Yeah, but Channing Tatum talks to a squirrel at the start of the movie, which shows he is compassionate and kind and likes animals. Your movie, a dog dies.
Yeah. But guess what? Guess what?
Okay.
Mike Banning stops those people that shot the dog.
Does he specifically kill those two people that shot the dog?
Probably. He probably kicks them as he walks by their corpses.
Probably.
Like, I saw what you did.
don't remember. You know who does kick a corpse? John Cale specifically kicks a man's corpse and says, fuck you, right after he shoots him in the head.
And there's 2 massive head injuries in this movie based on heavy ornaments. Yours was a giant German clock, whereas mine was some head.
That was also my movie?
No, when we watched it, someone got killed by a large ornament thing.
It was a statue of Abraham Lincoln.
And that was my movie.
Was it? No, that was Jamie Foxx.
No.
White House Down.
I made a point of it. That had happened like yesterday when we watched it.
Shit, we've lost our minds. We're mixing up the movies. Let's carry on. Channing Tatum talks to squirrels, and that reminded me of The Emperor's New Groove, is what I have written here, and that's a point in my movie's favor. So,
but did you know Gerard Butler talks outside his mouth because he can't control a Scottish accent? So it's the only way he can speak it with an American accent.
I thought he was American. I thought he was American.
He's not. He's Scottish.
You mean Gerard Butler, the most American man since sliced bread, is not American?
Not. What? What are you saying he's American for? He's very. You can hear his accent.
But he's Jerry Butler.
Scottish.
He's always American.
Yeah, he plays American. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm gonna die.
He's an American.
He also plays lubed up Greek men.
You know who is an American, a real American? Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
So
what? Go on.
Gerard Butler's not even an American, Dan. He doesn't even he couldn't really get into the role. Not like Channing
He couldn't
Tatum
get into the White House. Only American knows how
Tatum.
to get to the White House.
Yeah.
Yeah. They know the tour.
Yeah, sure. I think that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's do the next category. All right, let's do the next one. Let's move on. Let's keep this train churning out butter or whatever the
the old train churning butter.
Whatever the expression is. The next category is the presidents.
Our foe did not come only to destroy our things or our people.
Get your hands off my Jordans!
Get your damn hands off his Jordans.
Yeah.
My president is Jamie Foxx.
He is.
Very handsome, very likable, fantastic actor. Love Jamie Foxx. You know what your movie has?
Go on.
Morgan Freeman, but he's not the president.
Yeah, okay.
That's
but
a cardinal. That's a sin. That is a
Here's
cardinal.
the thing, right?
You can't.
Every point you made probably doesn't have much to do with the actual character in the movie, though, because we're talking about characters here. you just said lots of nice things about Jamie Foxx. You didn't actually say anything about the character.
It's just Jamie Foxx. He's President James. See, Jamie. He's President Jamie Foxx Sawyer. I think Fox is his middle name in the movie. No, he's playing President James Sawyer, who is being attacked by the Incel Brigade. Because why? Because he's trying to end the war in Iraq. /
Was it Iran?
Possibly Iran. We're not sure because the movie's to be fair, the movie at one point mentions, he says something about, but there were no weapons of mass destruction in Iran, which is a weird thing. We're not sure if Jamie Foxx got the countries mixed up or if this movie is set in a world where they invaded technically the right country, but not it's a strange one. Anyway, he wants to end the war. Not just that war, all wars, Dan, which is an admirable goal for any man and something that I think all presidents of America should aspire to, and something which President Jamie Foxx Sawyer achieves in this movie, because at the end of the movie, France, Russia, China, Israel, and Iran, all the famous war countries, agree to end all wars. That's how my movie ends. All wars end because Channing Tatum and President Jamie Foxx shot them out of existence with a rocket launcher.
I think there was a scene in your movie. It could have been my movie at this stage, but it's where they looked at America and the rest of the world look in shock, and I was just like, I mean, shock is a hard, strong word, isn't it? Really, for the rest of the world.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Yeah, I think that was in your.
Yeah.
I think we were both like, I mean, you know.
I mean, it'd be sad. People are dying, but
So tell me about your president.
Oh, you mean President Benjamin Asher? Well, he's a politician, so he can be a bit two-faced. And that was a subtle joke, everyone. Extra points if you get it. Anyway, he's very much a man's man. He likes boxing, with, like I said, which is like literally one of the first scenes we see of him. He's trying to, push down the aggressive nature that's happening in Korea, North Korea, obviously. And, he's trying to gain a peace there, which is still a relevant topic today. And in that pursuit, rather than letting a Secret Service man have to run into the White House while it's all crashing down and make peace across wars, he actually tries diplomacy by inviting the South Korean Prime Minister to the White House. I know, it's a crazy idea.
Which then ends with a Secret Service man running through the White House trying to end all wars.
Yes. Not really the same thing, but whatever.
He's terrible at vetting people that come to visit him.
Obviously, very early in the movie, he becomes a widower. He has a son, which surprisingly, like usually when there's like a widower in a movie, like the son hates the father or something because you let mom die or something stupid like that. Doesn't happen this. They're like still, hey, want to run down to the kitchens and get some ice cream?
Yeah. Kids, they like ice cream. Woohoo.
Yeah. And presidents, and I mean, who doesn't like ice cream? But he's a good dad. He's a man in grieving, but he's still leading his country. I'm based on my calculations of dates and all that, I believe he got into his second term. So the faith of the American people was still so strong, even after he lost his wife, that they voted him back in.
Yeah,
he's a two-term badass.
He got a sympathy vote.
It wasn't a sympathy vote because Americans wouldn't sympathize with that. They think that he wouldn't be strong enough to be a president. Strength in being a president is important.
Oh, I don't know. He's definitely.
Yes, I do know.
Your president's definitely a Democrat.
No, he's a Republican.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, he wears a purple tie, so he
wears a purple tie.
He's a bit of both, guys. Your president.
No, he's very much
both
like,
ways.
at least from our simple European views, a Dem president. But
I mean, we assume it's safe, I think, to assume that Jamie Foxx's president is also a Democrat.
Yeah, most likely. Because Yeah. For reasons we probably shouldn't go into too much.
I'd
but yes.
say he's a Democrat, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's my president. He's a good dad, man's man, likes ice cream, got voted
He's a
for
wimp.
a second election.
He's a chicken shit.
I don't think.
He's a wimp, little nerd,
Let's start
baby
again.
boy.
Let's start again. He's a man's man. He's a boxer.
Does he use a rocket launcher even once?
No, he doesn't.
Does he shoot a man with a machine gun?
He doesn't shoot a man with a machine gun.
Does he stab a man to death with a pen while screaming,
No.
"I choose the pen"?
No,
Does
he
he
doesn't.
curb stomp a man in his new Air Jordans?
No, he does not follow that racial stereotype.
Well, the bar then for being a man is quite low, then, isn't it?
I don't think any of those things. I don't think ferocious murder makes you a man.
Well, tell that to President James Sawyer, the manliest of rocket launcher wielding presidents that the world has ever seen.
Yeah, no, I don't think I will.
But also a kind-hearted soul who agrees to appear in a small girl's YouTube video blog.
He also stabbed a man with a pen.
Yes. It's the dichotomy of man existent in all of us, Daniel.
YouTuber,
President
pen
James Sawyer.
stabber.
Well, listen, plenty of YouTubers, I'm sure, are mass murderers, I think.
I mean,
They're
yes.
certainly psychotic.
That's not part of this discussion.
No, it isn't, but it's relevant somehow, somewhere, I think. I don't know.
God.
Listen, all I'm saying is the president uses a rocket launcher. I can't stress that enough. It actually happens. He picks up an RPG. He doesn't know how to use it. Channing Tatum screams at him, "Hey, don't wave the missile in my face." But he shoots it, and he hits things, and he kills people.
But he doesn't beat Independence Day president when he flies a jet into battle along his troops.
No, but
No one can beat him.
Come on. We're not arguing. If Independence Day enters this conversation, we might as well just all go home because there's no arguing that Independence Day is a better movie. Independence Day, incidentally, also made by my director. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, which makes this movie better because of that, is it?
Yeah, because it has a loose association, closer tie to Independence Day, I think.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Those are the presidents. President Sawyer versus President Asher is your guy's name?
Yeah.
Yes, Harvey Dent. Next up.
That's classified. Classified? Really? Well, right now, I think I have the proverbial need to fucking know.
I apologize in advance, but this is going to be the hardest takeoff you've ever felt, sir.
So we're talking about, I guess, the response. Sort of, I guess this is the plot of the movies, I suppose.
Yeah. And more than anything, not even the response so much from the heroes, but like from the government and the people in that world.
Yeah, I should say this is not how John Cale and Mike Banning respond to things, which is kind of in a similar fashion. Let's shoot things. This is kind of government, how the governments work, because they're kind of different in this, I guess.
Yeah.
So in White House Down, the White House is invaded. It's sort of a coup, I guess, in White House Down, because it's an inside job. It's the head of the president's security detail, played by James Woods. He leads like a bunch of disenfranchised military background type white people to invade first the Capitol building.
Wait, hold on. Are you telling me that white people can be terrorists who invade Capitol buildings?
Listen, it's a novel idea. I know, right?
Yeah.
Some might say this movie was prophetic in many senses.
Or pathetic, you know.
I would say I would class this as a psychic movie almost. Somehow they somehow Roland Emmerich and James Vanderbilt saw the future.
It's almost like there've been many white terrorist groups for a long, long time, but media wasn't showing it as much because it was more fun beating down on brown people.
Who are the bad guys in your movie?
Korean people. It's funny that, isn't it? It's like,
it's weird.
You know,
that's kind of odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
So anyway, the incels, the pre-Trump supporters are the bad guys in my movie, and they invade the White House. They sort of just they take over, and the government's like, we got to get you out of here, Mr. President. We got to get you on the Air Force, whatever. No, not Air Force One. That's the jet. Whatever is it? Marine One, I think, is the helicopter. They're like, we're gonna get you out of here, and they're like, oh no, we can't get you the helicopter. Let's get you in this bunker room. Oh no, we've kidnapped you. Blah blah blah. But from there on out, the president is now kidnapped. Essentially, he's in the White House. They can't talk to him. Blah blah blah. The only man who can save him is John Cale, etc. So on. The rest of the government, the vice president takes off aboard Air Force One. The Speaker of the House heads to the Pentagon, maybe some other place. Oh, I don't know.
Grey Wall.
He's in some other place. It's probably the Pentagon. I don't know. And then they're kind of like, the vice president's like, we gotta launch a military action. We gotta save everybody. We gotta do something. And everybody else, the chief of staff, who's played by, oh my god, I can't think of his name, but his name is he's the guy in The Wire. He's Lieutenant Daniels, and he's the concierge in John Wick. He's like the chief of staff of the military or whatever. He's like, no, we can't do anything without the president's permission. They basically all just sit there for like an hour going, we need the president. Only the president can order this. And the vice president's like,
president here.
Yeah, well, the vice president's like, well, we're going to impeach him then and get him out of here. And then the vice president dies, so they make the Speaker of the House the president. And he's like, yeah, let's blow everything up or whatever. But it's kind of this weird, like, it's almost like democracy fails sometimes.
Yeah,
it's kind of odd, and I know I should be talking about it in a glowing sense, but it's really odd, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
especially
really
because Jamie Foxx
like there must be emergency protocols, like,
well,
you know.
The main time it was driven home how odd it is when they have John Cale on the phone, and the President Sawyer is with him and speaks to somebody on the phone, and they're still like, no, we need the president has to give the order. Just do it on the phone.
Yeah.
He can just tell you you can just, I mean, just do that, But without, having said all that, if that had happened, then we wouldn't have got RPG wielding president. So at the end of the day, democracy wins again.
Do you think
what's the response like in your movie, Dan?
Okay, so the good part of what you just did was you explained a little bit of what happened in the movie to first establish what there is to respond to, which actually gives me some time to talk about things. So, right, okay. Like I said earlier on, this is the diplomatic president, and he invites the Prime Minister of Korea, not North Korea, obviously, South Korea, to the White House to discuss a way of stopping North Korea basically from going insane, as they normally do. There's people lining up on the border, and it's not a good time. And, the Prime Minister brings along an aide and goes right in the White House when an explosion happens. There's some stuff happening outside. And straight away, they say, okay, you have to go downstairs, Mr. President. And the president's like, just grabs onto the Korean Prime Minister. Yeah, he's coming with me. He's like, that's against protocol. And says, no, you're doing it anyway. Which is the first moment, like, the president doesn't have this control.
And it left me wondering, did the Korean terrorist guys plan for that? Because clearly,
I think they
but if the president had just dragged him into the bunker by himself and left the Koreans there in the Oval Office, what then, terrorist group?
But you see, it is obvious that President Benjamin Asher is a good man who would do that.
Yeah, but he didn't appear in a child's video blog for YouTube, did he?
I mean, you don't know that. He might. Maybe he's a regular guest.
I don't think he knows what YouTube is.
To be honest, probably fair. In 2013, he probably would have gone.
A what? A video blog? What? That's strange.
Well, yeah. Anyway, so the Korean Prime Minister, his aides, the Vice President, and the President, and set of staff get brought down to the dungeon, and it turns out one of the aides is a major North Korean terrorist.
It's the funniest part in the whole movie because it's so stupid. Okay,
because everything else makes more sense than your movie, except this part. This part was like, wait, hold on.
It's that in and of itself, but it's also the really dumb moment where nobody in the room, all of the heads of the FBI and the Secret Service and the military and everybody are all in a room talking to this man via video chat, and they're all like, well, I think Mike Banning kills one of the terrorists and he sends him a picture of this tattoo that he has, and they're all like, I don't recognize it, I don't know who this man is, I've never seen him before, who is he? And like 10 minutes later somebody's like, oh, he's this guy, he's one of the world's most wanted men, he's the head of a terrorist paramilitary organization and the right hand man of North Korean leader. And this guy is like, oh yeah, I know him. Like, why didn't you recognize him 10 minutes ago?
We made a joke about that. We wonder, like, did they just not want to seem racist?
I think just maybe, like, yeah. They were all like,
he looks like that head of terrorism, but I don't know if it's Korean, so maybe they all look alike. That'd be terrible.
Yeah, what if it's not him, and then that poor guy gets painted with this? That wouldn't be right. Best not to speak until we know for sure.
Anyway, so this aide called Kang, he's not an aide, he's a giant famous terrorist.
Yeah.
He shoots the vice president and the prime minister of Korea right in front of the camera as a threat, and they want some codes for some nuclear weapons, and they want them to move the 7th Fleet from the unmilitary demilitarized zone. Sorry,
just call it the DMZ. It's easy. It's
DMZ, the DMZ, right? And they want America to leave. And you know what? I mean, I obviously not a big fan of terrorists myself. You know, you do you, not me. But I kind of understand that part so much because it's a DMZ. You know, they probably shouldn't have the 7th Fleet there keeping an eye on things. You know, it just. But to be honest, right? Okay, well, here's the thing: Kang's obviously not a good guy. He kills a bunch of people. He keeps a knife to someone's neck, trying to get the codes out, and all this. So, meanwhile, you know, his people, like the Speaker, Trumbull, played by Morgan Freeman, and the Secret Service Director, Lynn Jacobs, played by Angela Bassett, and you know, like all the smart people, right? They, well, they don't do much. They talk a lot about bringing military in and not bringing military in, and saying, "Hey, Mike, what's up? Oh, you're in the White House now. Fair play to you." They don't do the Irish accent, but it's pretty much that.
you're the collective heads of the entire security forces of America in your movie essentially just go, Michael, do it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Michael, do it.
Michael,
and that's how much confidence they have in this guy.
but they start that whole relationship by exclaiming, most of them, that they don't have any confidence in Mike Banning and that he's like not to be trusted. Essentially,
here's the thing, right? Why do they say that? No, honestly, why do they say that?
Oh, well, number one, he let the president's wife die. Some would say he killed her. And then number two, what was it? There's a moment like early in the movie where some random guy.
Oh, he says to Sandra, fuck off.
He says the Speaker of the House, which I think was Morgan Freeman, but it doesn't come up again in the movie.
Yeah, and everyone goes like, "Oh Jesus, I can't believe you just said that." And it's like, is that this like a thing you shouldn't talk about? Just tell the Speaker of the House to fuck off.
Yes,
you see, everyone goes like,
rude.
I don't know. You're sitting around like with like Secret Service people. They're just shit. Like if that was said in the West Wing, people go, funny.
I mean, they should honestly. It would have been worked a lot better had the guy like accidentally brought up the president's wife dying.
Yeah,
then it would have been like, shut up, man! You don't talk about that in front of him. He killed that woman.
Look,
but then it's just you're the guy who told the Speaker of the House to fuck off.
Here, but again, his wife dying. They were in a critical moment, and you either save the wife or you save the president. You're going to save the president. That's your job. He did the right choice.
and we all suffered for it.
No, we didn't. It's only the president being upset, obviously, for good reason.
And his
God
son.
bless. And his son, who doesn't seem to care that much.
Poor Connor.
We don't really see Connor caring much. He's not even wearing... Wait, hold on. I see the emotional trauma now. He's not wearing a hat anymore.
He lost the hat. He no longer feels comfortable wearing a large, oversized cap with the president's seal on it in public.
You know, I think they did
Sniper's
that.
dream, some called him.
I actually think they did that to make him seem younger. That's the reason the hat was so big, so they could do the 2-year gap, and it made sense.
He also had glasses when he was in the first seat.
Size bigger, maybe?
Yeah, who knows, really? The
Anyway,
mystery. It's the mystery of film.
We've just about done as much as the US government did in my movie, which is just talk about random relevant things.
Just talk our way around it while we hopefully somebody else has already argued our points for us.
One thing that did kind of because I just like to imagine Gerard Butler, Jerry, has his own podcast where he explains all the points here. But anyway, the one thing that
lying on stairs in a kilt.
Oh, he loves the stairs and kills.
I was lying on stairs.
That's going to make no sense to anyone. Good job. Anyway, they give him deactivation codes to not nuke the planet. And that's the job they do. Like heroes.
What? Say that again?
They give...
Mike. He negotiates with the terrorists.
Yeah,
I would just like to say
he also disarmed the nuclear weapons, which he got from these people who weren't doing anything else throughout the movie. Remember the code he was getting?
Yeah,
You pull over that thing.
They had the deactivation codes, but not the activation codes.
Yeah.
In this self-contained, only 3 people in the whole world can use it. It's only on one computer system called Cerberus.
And again, I feel like so they were threatening to get the codes to activate it from these people, and it's like they had to have the blades to his knife. Says, "Give me the code." And eventually, the president says, "Go on, tell them the code." And he does, and they look to the president. "We're going to get your code now." "Well, you're not going to get it. Can't we just do the same thing we just threatened this fellow with? Because you told him. Can't we just put the knife again to it?" It didn't make sense. I'm never going to tell you this.
No,
I'm going to slit this guy's throat.
No, you're right. Your movie doesn't make sense. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I agree.
I
agree with you. I agree with you, and I would like to go on record here and say, terrorists don't do you. So that's. I think I win. What's now? What's our last?
I actually said I don't like terrorists, but you do you. So I'm talking about people who like terrorists, not the terrorists themselves.
Even those people don't do you. Don't do that. Be somebody else. Be somebody else, maybe.
Yeah,
for a little bit.
He's saying this. He's actually wearing a T-shirt saying "Go Terrorists."
That's why we don't ever have video with these podcasts.
Yes, that's why.
All right, it's time for our last section, and perhaps the most traumatic one. This is where we decide, were we engaged?
But how bad does it make you feel?
Were you engaged by your movie?
I'm going to let the perfect mask drop and say I really didn't pay much attention to this movie after a while. It really lost me very quickly. Maybe it's because we watched 2 movies which are pretty much the same in every important way, one day after the other. But it is a good movie here, obviously, and I can see why people enjoyed it. And it's full of ridiculous action and 15 headshots. Some of them are I think it's 3 knife wounds to the head as well, and there's lots of crazy sort of damage and effects. And I think if you're into these movies, it's definitely an engaging movie. But for myself, I don't know. First of all, I don't really care too much for the American hoorah sort of feel to things. It's kind of cheesy and a little bit silly after seeing everything that's happened over the years. So yeah, I guess I wasn't as engaged as I thought I would be, because I had the impression that these were excellent movies. But they're okay movies, grand movies.
What the fuck are you that impressed? I mean, one of them is, and that one is White House Down. That's right, Dan. I'm keeping it going. White House Down.
What?
I was so incredibly engaged at all moments of this movie. It's just from top to bottom. Look at this. Look at these. I'll just give you some things that are in my movie, right? That are clearly engaging in and of themselves. And together in one package means, how could I not be engaged? You got hot people, all right? They're hot and they're people and they're in my movie. They're Jamie Foxx and they're Channing Tatum. They're hot and they're in my movie. They're engaging. I'm engaged by hot people. Who isn't? Right? Point number one. Point number two, RPGs. The president uses one. That's engaging. That's a thing. That's a thing.
Say the line. Just say the line.
The line?
RPGs. That's in your soul, burnt onto the very heart of you.
RPG on the rooftop.
There we go.
There it is. If anyone doesn't know, that's from Mercenaries, an old game that I just some Russian guy shouts it a lot, and I liked it. RPG president. The P in RPG now stands for president, I think. Rocket president. G. I don't know what RPG stands for. Rocket propulsed grenade, right? Something like that. I don't know. Rocket president grenade. Yes. Woohoo! James RPG Sawyer is his new name. They call him the Rocket President in his second term because he takes America to the land of real freedom where there are no wars. That's engaging, isn't it? It's incredible.
Wait, my lads sent some helicopters at one stage. Sorry, lads. They did do one thing.
My guys did that too. Only they were jets, I think.
Yeah, that's
possibly helicopters. Who knows?
Oh yeah, because the mega structures in Washington.
Yes, the mega structures of Washington D.C. will either approach as they fly, like just barely missing. They just barely don't decapitate crowds of people as they fly in really loudly. But anyway, that's engaging in and of itself. Point number 3, though, Air Jordan sponsorship, money. That's engaging. Michael Bay, the god of Armageddon, has taught me anything, it's that product placement is engaging. The president wears Air Jordans. What does Michael Jordan think of this movie? I thought probably not a lot.
He probably doesn't really get involved.
But either way, I was engaged for a moment while I thought that. You know what else is in my movie? Vlogging. There's the birth of vlogging. Video blogs, they call them. They hadn't even come up with the name vlogging yet until this movie.
Do you hear that? I think that's the scratching of a barrel.
Vlogging is in my movie, Dan. It's vlogging. A girl vlogs, and it's 2013, and she's vlogging, and now look at us. Remember earlier I said this movie was prophetic?
Right? See, the thing is, right, there's actually a way you could have won the hero part, and that is by mentioning the daughter, because she did far more than Channing Tatum ever did.
She's not the hero. We were talking about John. We have a gentleman's agreement here, Dan. I can't break the rules of splitting hairs that we came up with, that we didn't really ever write down, but they're rules. Okay,
fair enough. I'm just saying, his daughter was pretty good.
That reminds me, though, something I meant to bring up earlier that I've just now thought to bring up. Emily Cale is the real hero of White House Down, and she's incredible.
Oh, really?
And she's
what role did she play?
She waved a flag and she vlogged the inside of the White House and stood up to terrorists.
And she had her phone out and recorded some terrorists doing not good stuff.
Yeah, that was the vlogging I referred
behind the curtain. Oh, I thought you meant just vlogging in general.
No, she vlogged the terrorism, which is current something that happens weekly.
Hashtag vlog the terrorism.
Hashtag vlog the terror.
For all the terrorist fans,
tweeted us hashtag vlog the terror at it'll be grand. Also, lots of explosions and no like big, weird, awkwardly lit blue screens in my movie.
Random sound elements going up to 100% of nowhere.
Oh my god, the sound mix in Olympus Has Fallen is the worst I think I've ever heard.
It really was. I think it actually shocked us about 5 or 6 times.
I watched at least an hour and 20 minutes of the movie with my finger on the scroll wheel, just prepping to like turn the volume up and down. Because if I turned it down for the exploding and the gunfights and stuff, because I couldn't hear over the exploding gunfights, but when I turned it down, I couldn't hear them speak in the quieter moments, and they flipped between them constantly. Terrible.
I think a jet kind of flew through my head a few times, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I think so too, and it's left us broken, and here we are. Yeah. It broke us to the point where we're arguing over White House Down versus Olympus Has Fallen. I'll cut that bit out.
No, you won't.
No, I'll cut it. No, I won't. I don't edit these. What am I talking about? So there it is, folks. That's it. Well, were we engaged? I say yes. Dan's admitted defeat. So
I'm not again. No, look. When I'm talking about engagements, like look, when you review movies like this, it can get a little tricky because you're watching two movies quite close to each other because you want it on a schedule to release. And I think my battery for Saving the President because terrorists broke into the White House was a bit run down at that stage. You know, it's a very unique battery, but it was run down.
Dude, is that like a Durex thing? Can you just buy those in the shop? Like a new one?
No, it's actually you have to get a prescription.
You're going to need one for next week when we do London Has Fallen.
No.
God, no. No, but
No,
speaking of engagement.
Speaking of.
We like it when you guys engage with us. So please drop a
Yes.
like, subscribe, all those good things. This was Splitting Hairs episode 2, the second episode of Splitting Hairs, the mini-series, whatever the hell you guys want to call it, episode 3 of season 2. We're back next week with normal stuff. By normal, normal as we can possibly be, which is not very. But what are we doing next week? Do you know? I know. Will I tell you?
Tell us.
I'll tell you. Because I'm actually excited for next week. Because we're doing a classic.
Yeah, we're going to do some classics this season, actually, in general.
We're doing an actual, and I don't mean like when we said The Mummy was a classic, even though it is.
No.
I mean like classics in the classic sense.
Yeah, the kind of classic that we won't get kicked out of, like a fancy university.
Yeah, we're doing a movie that's probably has been released as part of the Criterion collection, and it's a Hitchcock movie, and it's Rear Window. We're doing Rear Window next week, which is, in my opinion, one of the greatest movies of all time. I don't know Dan's opinion on it, but we'll find out.
I haven't watched it.
Aha,
so
well,
it'll be a new experience for me.
Okay. Oh, no, I'll save my Rear Window material for the Rear Window episode. But that's what we're doing next week, folks.
As for a little bit of news from me, the reason we haven't set it on the game streaming yet is completely down to me for not doing some graphic things. But hopefully, we'll get to that very soon, and then you can join us talking shite while we play stupid games.
Real stupid games, the stupidest. That's what we want.
Yeah, hopefully.
Play the stupidest games, watch the stupidest movies, except for next week.
And also, folks, just a quick request, even like our posts on our media rather than on shared posts we make to our personal accounts. It helps us out a lot. If you like us, share, tell everyone about us, and that'd be really, really well liked.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you,
Love you
Friday for the news roundup, and then we'll see you next week for Rear Window. Bye-bye.
Asherlo. It's a big rent.